everyone, it's Jose Fruity back again. 366 days of cards, day 81, and it's time for another review, but not actually a deck review. I'm actually going to be looking at websites in my two-part series. For this one, I'm going to be talking about actual playing card type websites, and the first one that comes on my list is AceKingPlayingCards.com. It's AceKingPlayingCards.com. He also has an eBay store. Now, Ace King is a pretty good site. They got a pretty good collection, a pretty good assortment of cards, especially USPC decks. They got Aladdins, Bicycles, Bees. They have some Democo Casino cards. They have foils, a few magic related decks. They have the Blue Crown stuff. They even have Ramblers and Steamboats, apparently. Of course, Tally Hoes, and even some other vintage and collectible decks. And of course, they have 311, Illusionist, and dan&dave stuff. So a pretty good selection. Unfortunately, they lose a few points, as I might say now, when it comes to sales and service. Selection is good. Sales and service could be better. I sent them a couple of messages over the last weekend, I believe it was, and never got any responses back. One of them was about a sponsorship, and the other one was because of the fact that they only accept PayPal as a payment. And unfortunately, I don't have a PayPal account anymore, and PayPal won't accept my credit cards. They've blocked them, even though I've even gotten a new credit card, and that one also got blocked. But that was probably my fault more than anything, because I tried to set up a new account with that one, so it probably wasn't a smart idea. I'm pretty sure before they had other payments forms instead of just PayPal, and I really wish companies would stop relying on just PayPal. I mean, use Google Checkout, use Amazon Payments. There's so many better payment methods out there. PayPal are a bunch of thieving bastards as far as I'm concerned. They take your money, freeze your account, hold on to your money for 6 months so they can invest it, and then, if you're lucky, they'll give it back. And they won't allow you to, if you're like me, they won't even allow me to appeal the decision to block my accounts. And it's a bunch of BS. And of course, they have a bunch of rules. If you break, you're basically screwed. Anyways, that might be another video. So that is a big minus, a big thumbs down, is for having just PayPal as a payment method. And again, for not responding to emails. It's completely ridiculous and unacceptable. And then as far as shipping is concerned, they also charge on the higher end for shipping, usually $17 or $18 for a package to ship. To me, yeah, I am in Canada, so it might be a little bit more than if you were in the States, but it does cost a bit more to ship to me than it does with other websites. So that is AceKingPlayingCards.com in a nutshell. And next, if I had to give them a score, I'm not even going to bother with that. I've tried coming up with scores, but I don't think that's really fair. Let's just say Ace King is, they got a pretty good selection. However, sales and service is not that good, and shipping rates could be better. Next, let's look at B&MPokerWorld.com, which also has an eBay store. And B&M Poker World's got a pretty big selection. They have Aristocrats, all the ones that Ace King would have, and then some. You got Anglos, Aristocrats, Bicycles, Bees, Casino decks, Blue Crowns, deck 1, not so wide, but I guess, Fear 11s, Dan and Dave's, Smoke, Illusionists, Carnivals, Plastic, Chem, playing cards, Tally-Hos, Ramblers, and so forth. And they also sell a bunch of lighters in case you're interested in Zippo lighters. Not sure how that has anything to do with poker, but anyways. The selection is pretty good. Sales and service, not bad. I'm a little bit biased in this department. They're pretty good sales and service. He goes on the forums and tells people when he's got something in stock. He has a blog that lets people know what's coming up and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, he's not selling to me anymore, so that's where he gets a big thumbs down. And that's all because of, and you see, I've mentioned it before. I think it's stupid. I was always a good customer to him. I always bought lots of stuff from him. And we had a little disagreement, if you will, and now I guess he doesn't trust me anymore, and he won't sell to me anymore. Fortunately, one of my YouTube buddies has stepped up and said if I ever want anything from his site, let him know. He'll get it for me, and we can make a trade, or I can pay him for it. I appreciate that, and that was the Mr. Magic 640. Make sure you check out his channel. He's awesome. As far as shipping is concerned, the shipping rates are not bad. They're, I guess, pretty average. Anywhere from like $6 to $15 for shipping the package, depending what it is. And that's to Canada again, of course. Excuse me. And that's what I think of that. Unfortunately, I don't do business with them anymore because they don't want me to. Not my choice. And because they block me. But anyways, I still think it's a good site to check out. They got a lot of stuff and a lot of people use it. Next on the list is the oneeyedjack.com, and I apologize if this takes a while. I'll try to speed it up. The oneeyedjack.com also has an eBay store, and actually I forgot Ace King. No, not Ace King. Sorry, scratch that. Anyways, oneeyedjack.com, and he has an eBay store, and that's the one with the number 1, as he always says in his videos. And he's got a pretty good selection of decks as well. Adult decks, Aladdins, Aristocrats, Argos, Bees, Bicycles, Crown decks, Casino decks, and other casino supplies. Some collectible decks. He's got stuff from the Conjuring Arts, Dan and Dave, Illusionists, Carnivals, Tally-Hos, Fear 11s. He's got uncut seats, white knuckles, and so much more. And it's a pleasure doing business with him. He's, in my opinion, he's a pretty good guy. He always responds to messages, as does Mike at B&M Poker World. And Jason also, I like, he does actual product reviews. Every time he gets a new deck, he does a video, shows us what it is, so that we know what we're buying. And I think that's awesome. And make sure you check out his YouTube channel. I believe it's the One-Eyed Jack Online with the number 1. I'm subbed to it, so if you look at my subscriptions, if you can actually do that, I don't know if you can actually do that on new YouTube, but if you can, do that, or else just search for it and you'll find it. Anyway, that's what I think of the One-Eyed Jack. Shipping is pretty good, usually about the same cost as with B&M Poker World, so it's not bad. And as far as Shipping to Canada from these sellers, it's usually about a week and a half shipping time with the cheap shipping. Next on the list is my former sponsor, PokerStud52. He's got an eBay store. It's at stores.ebay.com/52andjokers. And he's got a pretty good selection of stuff. And by the way, all these sellers also usually have discounts, 10% discounts or 5% discounts that you can get with promo codes, which I won't get into right now. But I think that's good stuff as well. PokerStud52 has an eBay store. I actually found out that he's working on a website as well. Hope he doesn't mind me saying that. That will come later this year. And again, he's a good guy. He always responds to messages. He did have me as a sponsor for a while. Unfortunately, I only got one package from him for a couple of decks. But it's better than nothing. He he's not doing sponsorships anymore because it's too much issues, I guess. Anyway, he's got a pretty good selection. He doesn't have anything Illusionist or Fury 11 or Dan&Dave, but he's got Crown decks. He's got all the new latest bicycles and bees and tally holes. He's got some Conjuring Arts. It's a pretty good selection. He also has sometimes some rarer decks like the Bicycle Tall Stacks, which I got not too long ago from him. And he's got some other decks that you're not going to find on those other websites that I mentioned. And I definitely think you should check him out. Check out his eBay store. Shipping rates are excellent. They're usually no more than $6 to ship a package to me. I've never been charged more than that from him. I think $6 or $7 max. And it's also, about a week and a half to get here, maybe faster. Next is MERS67.com. He also has an eBay store, and he also has an Amazon account. And he sells all sorts of stuff on his website. Most of the decks he sells are bicycles. A lot of them are decks that he has created, like the Bicycle Trace series. He's got like 8 decks in that. The Bicycle Zebra, the tie-dye deck. He's got a new Tiger deck. He's got like 4 different patriotic American decks. And they're all pretty much standard bicycles with clip art, crappy looking jokers. And in some cases, downright awful back designs like the Zebra deck, and I think the new Tiger deck as well. And they're just not that good, and they are very expensive. I have heard some bad stuff about the service from him, not responding to people, like packages not being properly wrapped and getting damaged and stuff like that, but I haven't had any bad experiences with him. However, I don't agree with his tactics, pumping out like 10 or 12 different basic and crappy decks just to make money, and then selling them for like $100 for 4 decks. It's completely ridiculous, if not more than that. And I don't recommend buying any of those decks from him. I'm not saying don't buy from him, just don't buy those decks from him. At least not until they've come down to like $10 each or less. And I did get the tie-dye deck. That's the only deck of his that I've gotten so far. But anyway, I'll move on. I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys. As for shipping, I don't remember. It was about the same as the other ones as far as rates and time, as far as I can recall. Next is Full Boat Dealer on eBay. I don't know what the actual store, what the actual link is, but just Google it, Full Boat Dealer. And what this guy's got is pretty good. Sales and service is not too bad. I don't really remember. I never, contacted him too many times. so I don't know about responses, but what he has is some standard, bicycles and bees and that type of stuff, and also a lot of rarer, harder to find decks. I can't even think of any, but there's quite a few that I've got in my collection that I got from him that you don't really find anywhere else. And I definitely recommend you check out his store, especially if you're into deck collecting, because you're going to find something you've probably never seen before. Anyway, that's all I can think of for him. Next, cardsformagic.com, also cardsformagic.co.uk, aka the bond agency, and that's Cards for Magic with the number 4, not the word 4. The cardsformagic.com is pretty good. Shipping rates are not bad. They're about the comparable to the other sites that I've mentioned. Selection is pretty good. They got a little bit of everything. The Illusionist 311, lots of bicycles and other standard type decks. They also sell Piatniks and Cardamundes and Anglos and a lot of European type decks. And I think that's pretty good. So that's a good website to check out. Shipping is not too bad. I've never contacted them that I can recall, so as far as that is concerned, the service part is concerned, pretty good from what I've seen. I've always gotten packages pretty quick, and if you're in the UK, you can get a package from them in like a day, from what I've heard. Next, GamblingIncorporated.com. GamblingIncorporated.com sells a lot of poker type decks. They do have bicycles and I think tally holes and bees. They don't really have anything Illusionist or Dan and Dave or Fury 11. And they do have a lot of plastic decks. The prices aren't bad. Shipping is not bad. That's about all I can think of. Playing cards, I'm not sure if that's an actual website, so I'll skip that one. Well, okay, there is one. It's actually playingcardsandmore.com, which I recently got a package from. That's where I got my Piatniks from, and they sell some other European decks. I think it is based out of the UK. They do sell. I think that's not where I got the Piatniks. I got the Piatniks from Cards for Magic. It is where I got the Cardamundes. And actually, it's not European based that I can think of. Playing Cards and More is, I don't know, I'm confused. It's similar to GamblingIncorporated.com. They sell a lot of plastic decks, some European decks, this and that. It's very similar to Gambling Incorporated from what I can recall. I apologize if I'm not remembering that website very good. Anyways, shipping rates and everything pretty much the same. Next, Bicycle Playing Card Supplies.com. It's a British site. They got a pretty good selection of decks, just like B&M Poker World and One Night Jack. Shipping rates not bad. Prices of decks not bad and stuff like that. That's all I can think of right now. And the last one I got on my list, per se, is DealingDeuces.com. DealingDeuces.com is one that I don't like at all. I don't think I've ever gotten anything from them. DealingDeuces.com wanted to charge me $30 to ship 2 decks to Canada. That's double what I usually pay elsewhere, if double or even triple of what I usually pay elsewhere for shipping. And that is completely ridiculous and unacceptable. They're also trying to sell a deck of golden nuggets, a blue deck of golden nuggets, which is harder to find and rare and everything, but they're trying to sell it for $3,000. Again, completely ridiculous. And actually, I asked the Mr. Magic 640 to get the decks for me instead, to see if shipping would be cheaper, and they actually wanted to charge him apparently $78 for shipping, or something like that, something crazy. It's ridiculous. I don't understand that. But anyways, part of the reason why he charges so much for shipping is he wants to make sure that people get insurance when they do it, so that he doesn't get screwed, because apparently he's been screwed. But I think maybe he's just screwing everyone over. I don't recommend doing Deuces.com at all. Another reason is because they only accept PayPal for payment, and I don't have PayPal. So that is what it is. The only other sites I can think of are eBay and Amazon. Both of them have pretty good selections of cards from a variety of different sellers, a variety of shipping rates and service and stuff like that. But definitely good to check out. And then there's TotallyWP.com, which is totally worth playing. And they've got like nothing on anymore. They used to have a lot more activity, but there's like nothing on it. So don't even bother checking that one out. Another place to check for decks is the forums, unitedcardists.net, aforcards.com, and 52cards.net. I think that's one. It's cards with a K, by the way. These different forums, they always have people selling cards. You can check even Illusionist or 311. I'm not sure if Dan and Dave has their forums up yet. But anyway, that is what I have. I'm sorry if this video is a little bit boring, but I mentioned a variety of websites. Thumbs up for the oneeyedjack.com, PokerStud52, Fullboat Dealer, CardsForMagic.com, and even B&M Poker World.com. Thumbs down for Ace King Playing Cards.com, and for Deuces.com. Also thumbs up for Bicycle Playing Cards Supplies.com. Also thumbs down for Mirror67. And yeah, for Gambling Incorporated and Playing Cards and more. And thumbs down for TotallyWP.com, and thumbs up for eBay and Amazon. The only other problem with eBay again is they almost only accept PayPal, and so I'm almost officially done with eBay. Anyway, I apologize for the disappointment. Let me know what you think if you like it. I am planning to do one on magic related websites if you like it, and if not, I apologize and I won't do it again. So let me know what you think of this video, if it was helpful, and if you want to see more, or if you don't, and I'll see you next time.